I would like to review the solutions for the pre-check problems for linear equations. Skill 1 is to perform operations with real numbers, and we are to classify each number as a natural number, whole number, integer, rational number, or irrational number. Recall that natural numbers are really counting numbers, so those are things like 1, 2, 3, and so on. Whole numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. An integer are the positive and negative whole numbers, so things like -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Rational numbers are quotients of integers, so they have to be p over q, where p and q are both integers. And of course the denominator cannot be 0. But they also have a decimal form that terminates and repeats, or repeats. And an irrational number is a number that is not rational, so it doesn't end and it doesn't repeat. That is its decimal form. So -1/5 is not a natural number, it's not a whole number, it's not an integer, but it is a rational number because it is a quotient of two integers. And notice that rational and irrational, those are not going to be any number cannot be in both of those sets. They have to be one or the other. But the square root of 81 simplifies to be 9, so it is a natural number. It is also a whole number. It is an integer. And it is rational because 9 is equivalent to 9 divided by 1, so we can write it as a quotient of two integers. Pi divided by 2, because it contains pi, which is an irrational number. Pi divided by 2 is also irrational. -6 is not natural. It's not a whole number, but it is an integer, and it is also rational because again that is -6 divided by 1. 0 is not a natural number. It is a whole number. It is an integer, and it is rational because it can be written as 0 divided by 1. Now we will perform the indicated operations. 4 minus 8, remember to subtract is the same as adding the opposite of a number. So 4 plus -8 is -4. -4 plus 8 is also 4, but positive. 4 minus -8, we add the opposite to get 4 plus 8, which is 12. -4 minus -8 is equivalent to -4 plus 8, which is 4. 4 times -8, a positive times a negative is -32 in this case. -4 times -8 is positive 32. -4 divided by -8, a negative divided by negative is positive, and we can also simplify the fraction to positive 1/2. 8 divided by -4, so positive divided by negative is a negative, and 8 divided by 4 is 2, so that's -2. The second skill was to apply the order of operations, and again as a mnemonic you can say, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, but that means parentheses or grouping symbols first, then exponential expressions, then multiplication and division in the order they appear from left to right, and finally addition and subtraction in order from left to right. In the expression 8 plus 2 times 6, multiplication takes precedence, so this would be 8 plus 12, which is 20. 8 divided by 2 times 6, that's multiplication and division from left to right. So we say 8 divided by 2 is 4, times 6 would be 24. 16 is a little bit different. It is 8 divided by the quantity 2 times 6. So in this case we have to do what's in parentheses first. 2 times 6 is 12. 8 divided by 12 simplifies by dividing a like factor or common factor of 4 to get 2 thirds. 2 times negative 3 squared minus 5 times negative 3 plus 4. We simplify the exponential expressions first. Negative 3 squared is positive 9, right? That's negative 3 times negative 3. Minus 5 times negative 13, we can go ahead and simplify that to be plus 15 plus 4. So then we have 18 plus 15 plus 4, which is what? 33 plus 4 is 37. Number 18 is the opposite of negative 5 squared plus 4 times the negative 5 minus 1. We simplify the exponential expression first. So negative 5 squared is positive 25. So this is the opposite of 25. Plus 4 times negative 5, we can write that as negative 20 minus 1. So negative 25 minus 20 minus 1, they're all negative, so we add and keep the sign to be negative, which would be negative 46. In the expression negative 4 minus negative 2, all divided by 1 minus 3. The fraction bar acts as a grouping symbol, so we have to simplify in the numerator and then simplify in the denominator. Negative 4 plus 2 divided by 1 minus 3 is really 1 plus negative 3. So this is negative 2 divided by negative 2, or simply 1. 3 minus 6 divided by negative 7 minus 2. Again, we simplify numerator and denominator. 3 minus 6 is 3 plus negative 6. If you need to write it out, if you don't, you can go ahead and simplify it. Negative 7 minus 2 is negative 7 plus negative 2. So we have in the numerator negative 3 divided by negative 9. A negative divided by negative is positive, and the 3 and the 9 have a common factor of 3, so we can simplify that to be a positive 1/3. Now, to simplify algebraic expressions, we want to apply the distributive property as needed and then combine like terms. In the expression negative 3 times 2x minus 4 plus 10, we get negative 6x plus 12 plus 10. So that is negative 6x plus 22. In the expression negative 4m plus 2 times m minus 3 plus 2m, we get negative 4m plus 2m minus 6 plus 2m, and that is combining like terms. Notice that we have negative 4m plus 2m plus 2m, and those actually add to 0, and so we're left with just negative 6. 5 times y minus 4 plus 3 minus 6 times y minus 7. We multiply first. by applying the distributive property to get 5y minus 20 plus 3 minus 6y plus 42. Remember that a negative times a negative is positive. We combine like terms. 5y minus 6y is a negative 1y, so we write that as just negative y. Negative 20 plus 3 is negative 17, and negative 17 plus 42 is what, 25? Eight times 3 minus x minus the expression x plus 4. Understand there's a minus 1 in front of that parentheses. So when we simplify, we get 24 minus 8x minus x minus 4. Combining like terms, a negative 8x minus x is a negative 9x. 24 minus 4 is plus 20. And then lastly, we are to solve the equations by applying the addition or multiplication properties of equality. That simply means that we can add or subtract or multiply or divide each equation by that same number. If we have x minus 9 equals 1, the goal is to isolate this variable. So to get rid of the minus 9, we have to add 9 to each side. So we get x will equal 10. So the solution set is a set containing 10. Now notice how that differs in the next equation, negative 9x equals 1. Here the negative 9 and x are connected by multiplication, so we must divide each side by negative 9. So x equals positive divided by negative is a negative 1/9. Three-fourths plus p equals 15. This is a number that's added to p, so we can subtract 3/4 from each side. P is equal to 15 minus 3/4. But to do 15 minus 3/4, we have to get a common denominator. And the common denominator is 4. So remember, we say 1 goes into 4 4 times, and 4 times 15 is 60. So 60/4 minus 3/4 is 57/4. And that would be the solution set. And I didn't write the solution set here. That would be negative 1/9. R divided by 3 equals negative 12. Since R is divided by 3, we have to multiply each side by 3. And so 3 times R divided by 3 is just simply R. And negative 12 times 3 is negative 36. Oops, I didn't scroll down to do the other two problems. Sorry about that. 3/4 p equals 15. We need to divide each side by 3/4 because that's a product there. And so to divide 3/4 by 3/4, those just simplify to be p on the left. And 15 divided by 3/4 is the same thing as 15 times the reciprocal, which is 4/3. So 3 goes into 15 5 times, and 5 times 4 is 20. And lastly, 3r minus 5 equals negative 14. We first have to get the term with r by itself, so we add 5 to each side to get 3r is equal to negative 9. And now we can divide by 3 to get r is a negative 3. So hopefully that helps shed some light on these problems. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me.